Well, welcome everyone to another thrill-packed episode of Wine Down at Specs. I'm Pat Kelly, your host, and we have a very special guest here today from the Bordeaux. Now, we've had a few from Bordeaux before, but good grief. How many generations of winemaker do you represent, Benoit?
The 15th generation for the family.
15th generation winemaker for Trocard wineries of Saint-Emilion.
Saint-Emilion,
That's
yes.
That's impressive to me. So, Benoit, congratulations on 15 years of succession at this business.
Well, you know, it's not always very easy to be from a family with that background. Still working with your father and your grandfather, so you need some fresh air sometimes. So that's why I'm here today.
In the spirit of your grandfather, and your grandfather, and your grandfather's grandfather.
Exactly.
You know, it's amazing to me. Well, listen, we've carried these wines from their winery in Saint-Emilion, Bordeaux for years, and they get tremendous response from our customers. And Benoit, if you would just tell us about the first wine we're going to taste here today, which is the Garagista, and
yes.
Speak to us about the terroir of your appellation and why it is what it is.
So just to start with, the family started in 1620 only in the right bank of Bordeaux. So when I say the right bank, it's the right side of the river that is mainly planted with Merlot grapes. So all of our wines are mainly Merlot. And you know, Bordeaux sometimes tend to be a little too much old-fashioned. And people see Bordeaux like wine they need to drink only on the Sunday with very special dinners. And I started the winemaking for the family in 2010, but I was the marketing manager before. And in 2007, I decided to create a wine for my little brother consumption and maybe for some other friends all around the world that was more simple, more fun. So Garagista was born in 2007, and it's a blend of different plots we have in the family, and it is supposed to represent what the vintage gives you the best in terms of easy drinking and good potential of aging. But it's really to have one label. We don't emphasize the vintage. We don't emphasize the appellation. It's all about a label that is very recognizable with always a very good wine and a very good price on the wine. And so Garagista here, it's the 2008 vintage, which is a very classical vintage in Bordeaux. Most of the grapes came from the Lalande de Pomerol appellation this time, and it's very ready to drink. It has a very complex nose of blueberry, blackcurrant. It's very balanced, very soft, very silky. It drinks very, very well today.
It's beautiful. Very nicely balanced, good acid structure.
Yes, 2008, classical.
You know, when I first heard your name, Garagista, for this, quite frankly, that resonates with Americans because a lot of great things were made in someone's garage before they went national.
Exactly.
Well, you've got 14 generations of since you guys were Garagistas.
Yes.
Making this in a garage.
I started in a garage, my first wine actually. Yes.
Did you now?
Yeah.
Well, this is delicious.
Well, but you know, it's also when you see your little brother starting drinking other wines than the family wines and outside of Bordeaux, you realize you have to do something, and you want to please the next generation, and you want to lead this generation into the Bordeaux world. But you need a first step into that world, and Bordeaux sounds complicated. I understand that very well. So Garagista is really a first step into the Bordeaux world before going to the chateau and the more complicated stuff.
This is a real nice first step. This is delicious. And a nice expression of those classic Bordeaux varietals.
And it's still very Bordeaux. We never lost making this wine the spirit of Bordeaux. We're just trying to have a new approach for people that are maybe a little bit more reluctant to this complicated world, really.
Well, I wish you well on your welcoming of the next generation into the fine world of Bordeaux.
It's also being a family there for a long time. You want people to have fun with wine. It's not only serious, it's also a part of sharing. And you need some bottles you just want to share and have fun with instead of thinking and being too much into which grape varietal it is, which vintage, is it good, can I keep it? Garagista is all about pleasure.
I like that. And we go then to its bigger brother, the Franc La Rose. Now this is not so much a blatant invitation to the younger generation.
Well, it can be. The quality is there. But you're right, Franc La Rose, it's becoming much more serious. The family had always vineyard in the Saint-Emilion area, except that my grandfather did not inherit the family vineyard in Saint-Emilion. So it's been always very important for my parents to one day go back to Saint-Emilion. And they finally bought Chateau Franc-la-Rose in '95. Very small, now it's about 7 hectares, so it's much bigger. And it's 100% on top of the hills, so it's a lot of clay with a little bit of limestone in the Saint-Emilion village. So it produces much bigger style of wine with more fruit, more concentration, more everything. The beauty of that terroir is you can push the ripening, and with the limestone, you always keep the acidity and the balance in the wine. So Franc-la-Rose is all about very complex nose, very intense nose, big mouth, very full body, but at the same time, very refreshing and with very nice acidity. It's also a blend of 75% Merlot and 25% Cabernet Franc. And this Cabernet Franc, added to this beautiful Merlot, makes a wine very complex and complete.
This is a delight. Very smooth, very well balanced, and a nice expression of the Merlot.
Yeah.
The Cab Franc gives it a good nice edge.
Exactly, and this blend for me is very typical Saint-Emilion. You need Cabernet Franc in the blend in Saint-Emilion. It's really a beauty when you succeed ripening. And 2011 vintage, which is that Franc-la-Rose, is a vintage that comes right after 9 and 10 that were like the big vintages in Bordeaux. But everybody has to remember or to learn that 2011 was a ripe vintage. Mm-hmm. It was an early flowering season, and we harvested everything ripe. So but it was a very dry season, so the wines needed 1 year in the bottle to really be more smooth and more elegant. And I think this 2011 today is really can be drunk and can be aged, but we've got a very good vintage outside of 2009 or 2010.
Benoit, this is delicious, and if it was 11 and you started making wines in 10, then this is your inaugural vintage then, huh?
Exactly.
Congratulations,
second
my
vintage
friend.
for me.
You did very well. So
thank you.
This is a delight.
Cheers.
Well, thank you so much, Benoit.
My pleasure.
Wonderful to have you here, and always great to have you in town. And welcome back. Come see us often.
I'll come back.
And thank you. Come back and see us often as well. And come to Specs while you're here and get some of the Jean Louis Trocard wines from Saint-Emilion, Bordeaux. They're an absolute delight. You will love them. Thank you so much, Benoit. Good to see you.
Santé.